Good morning, New Vision Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Beverly Strutt, and guess what? Today, I get to come and share with you. I am so excited, I can even feel my knees trembling just a little bit. Anyway, before we get started, I just wanted to say one thing, how proud I am to be part of this community. How proud I am of all of you for saying yes to staying safe, saying yes to being careful and taking care of yourselves, saying yes to being careful and taking care of all of those around you. It is so important that you have been doing this, and it makes my heart sing to know that these are the actions you've been taking. And I am so glad that you have said yes to be willing to continue to be part of this community every day. Every day you come in and connect. You're here on Sunday mornings, and it is just a magnificent feeling to know and feel you right here, right now. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this morning, I am going to be speaking about me, myself, and I. And you. Yes. So let's begin with me, myself, and I. Doesn't it sound just so wonderful to be able to say that? Me, myself, and I. It sounds a little like the triune nature of the divine. You know, when we ring the gong and we hear that gong ring 3 times, we think of the mind, the body, and the soul. Well, think about that. Me, the mind, myself, my body, and I, my soul. That deep part of me, that really lovely part of me. Say it with me, myself, and I. You know, it hasn't been that long that we've been actually able to say those words without people thinking that we're odd, conceited, egotistical, that it's okay to be able to look at ourselves and appreciate who we truly are as these magnificent expressions of the divine. You know, my dad is a perfect example of the generation that would never have said that. No. The whole idea of looking inward, the whole idea of looking at what you felt or what you needed, it was completely taboo. This is just nothing he would have done. My dad, however, was really, really good at doing things for people. He was always in action. He'd either be running somebody an errand, he'd be fixing their plumbing, you know, just as long as they were okay, their needs were taken care of, he was good. And of course, everybody loved him. I wonder if that was the point. That could well have been the point, because he definitely lived from the outside in as opposed to the inside out. His value was found in how others perceived him. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not putting my dad down whatsoever. I think this was kind of part of how things were then. You know, definitely in his parents' time, for sure. But just to think about that everything about what he did, all the doing, was all about approval from the outside. There was no being in there. There was no going in and seeing who he was truly. How did he feel about things? What was it that he truly wanted? No, that wasn't it at all. So I can see that there's so much doing there and not so much being. And I can also see that to have experienced that feeling that most of us have, where we get to do and say without this idea that we need somebody to approve of us. It's our way of discovering the true spiritual essence of who we are. Rumi says this so beautifully. He says, I want to sing like a bird sings, not worrying about who hears or what they think. I wonder how that would have looked for my dad. You know, we did spend time together where he asked about science of mind and what we believed and what we thought. Can you imagine if he had walked in here into the center and heard us say, yes, we're going to go in. We're going to peel back that onion. We're going to discover who we are. We might cry, we'll laugh, we'll enjoy, but we will be who we are inside. Yeah, he would have looked at us and gone, you're crazy, folks. You're absolutely crazy. But I know that he did start to get a little bit of those ideas as we started to speak more and more about that. And I think at the end of the day, he realized that there was more to going within that there was about receiving approval from without. You know, I would hesitate to say this, but I think it might be a truth that we still, some of us, still tend to do that a bit. Make sure that everybody else is okay. We hear it in, I can give, but I don't want to receive. I can hear, as long as everybody else is okay, I'm going to be just fine. But we're called to go inside. We're called to know the truth of who we are. And I wonder what that is. What is it that we're looking for inside? What is it we're going in search of? And you know, I found this lovely story from the Hopi tradition, the Arizona Hopi Nation, that they talk about creation. And here it is for you. Creation said, I want to hide something from the humans until they're ready for it. It is the realization that they create their own reality. The eagle said, give it to me. I'll take it to the moon. And the Creator said, no, one day they'll go there and find it. The salmon said, I will bury it at the bottom of the ocean. And the Creator said, no, they will go there too. The buffalo said, I will bury it on the great plains. And the Creator said, they will cut into the skin of the earth and find it even there. Grandmother, who lives in the breast of Mother Earth and who has no physical eyes but sees with spiritual eyes, said this, put it inside them. And the Creator said, it is done. Put it inside them. Yeah, that's why we go inside. We go inside not just to get the realization that we create our own experience, but we go inside to see who we are, to go in, to heal that which is unhealed, so that we can have that magnificent experience in this world, in this life, right here, right now. We go in so that we can discover who me is, and then we can flourish as me. We go in to look at myself and know that myself is valuable and important. And then once we have done that work, we can honestly say, I am. But we need to dig. We do. We need to do our work. We need to peel back those onion skins. We need to cry. We need to really feel in, and we need to be willing to go on that journey of self-discovery, to go into those places that are uncomfortable, thrash around in the unknown, dig a little deeper. It's good for us. And it takes time. And sometimes it even takes baby steps. I have a friend that I'm working with, and I've said to her, let's do that practice that we've done. Every day you write, I am something. I am smart. I am exciting. I am adventurous. This is not an easy thing to do, especially when we allow it to sink from the mind into the heart, and we bring it forth from there. And she said to me, she goes, I can't write that statement yet. I can't write that I am statement yet. And I was like, okay, well, what can you do? She goes, I'm writing, I accept that I am. And I thought about that. I'm like going, well, that's a great step in the right direction. I accept that I am. I can't yet say I am, but I can accept this idea that I am. So you know what? Whatever it takes, it doesn't really matter as long as we get to that place, that wonderful place where we can stand solid and sure and truly say, I am. So you might ask, what is this I am of which you speak? I'll let Ernest Holmes, the founder of our teachings, tell you. He says this, when I speak of this I am, we are speaking of a power that sustains life, of the intelligence that directs it, and the wisdom that governs it. We're speaking of that love, that warmth, the color which awakens to consciousness of our own being. We're speaking of that love. So now we're good, right? We've done our work. We've gone through the processes. We've peeled our onions. We can say I am. We're good. Nah. Nah. Now the real work begins. This is the place from here that we start our work. This is the place where we begin our relationships with other people. Yeah, I can see, I could just feel there's this, ooh, yeah, relationships. It's kind of that word that gets us going. But when we do that right now, we do our work in relationships in public. It's very clear in our teaching that we were not called to go and hide in a cave and do the work on ourselves or relationships. You know, the relationship with the bugs, that's great. It's wonderful. But those are not really going to polish your edges very much. They're very kind. They're very forgiving. And you can have great relationships with them, but it's relationships with people that really bring us forward. And we kind of want to look at why do we go through this? Well, the whole idea is, and we see this thread in many, many of the faith traditions, of oneness, of coming back together, of coming back to that whole, reuniting. We see that in the Kabbalah, where we're going to reunite all the shattered pieces. We even see it in quantum physics, where they talk about quantum activism, and it's all about bringing people together. And how do we do it? We do it with righteous acts. Yep, we do it with righteous acts. So our whole purpose now in life is to look out for other people. We're going to go ahead and we're going to make sure that everybody else is taken care of. We're going to do great deeds, speak wonderful words. I can hear you saying, but Beverly, wasn't that what your dad used to do? Yeah. You got it, Grasshopper. Absolutely. That was what they used to do. But what has changed? What has changed is how we do it. how we do it. We're not coming from a place of doing because we want value for ourselves. We're coming from a place of doing because we've healed. We've healed those things. So the intention behind doing has no strings attached. There's no reason for it. It's just because it's the right thing to do. It's the way we build our relationships, the way we come together, and actually, it is the way we are going to move forward. But we still have to work on those relationships. We work on the relationships because so often we want to do these things, and yet there's still this fear involved. So often somebody is not in agreement with you, or they want to do it their way, or it just doesn't feel right. And it comes from this place of fear. This fear of, what do I have to lose? What am I going to lose in this transaction? What am I going to lose if I allow it to look differently from what I believe it should look? Yeah, we don't lose a thing. Because what we're doing is we're allowing love to come in and do the work for us. Because there is nothing to lose. When we steep ourselves in love, when we've done our work, there's nothing to lose. Ernest Holmes says this: there is no fear in love, and there is no liberation from fear without love. There's no liberation from fear without love. Ah, how wonderful it would look if we can actually move through those relationships, find out how we can become vulnerable. I know that many of you are taking the Dare to Lead class. Right in there, it shows us so clearly that we don't have to hold on. It doesn't have to be our way. Nobody's taking anything from us. It's just this place where we can be vulnerable. And why can we be vulnerable? Because we release it to love. We have done that work. We have healed those things so we can move forward. There will be no issues, no tension. You will be able to see people exactly as they are and exactly as they're not. And that's okay, because love doesn't care. Love sees you exactly as you are, that perfect expression. So Ernest Holmes says this about love. Love is that golden thread woven into the lessons we must learn while treading the spiritual path. Love makes us sensitive to the needs and feelings of others. So as we surrender to love, it becomes easier because there is an openness, a desire. There's nothing attached to it. It's just love. He goes on to say, operating out of love, we're able to not only empathize more, but anticipate the needs of others and work to fulfill those needs. Is it not incumbent upon us to return the same love to others that we have been so blessed to receive from our divine source? Yeah, isn't that it? As we receive, so we allow it to flow through this beautiful open chalice we've created through the me, myself, I am. We allow the love to flow through us and out into the world. And sometimes we have to still work on it a bit. And how do we do that? How do we become that beneficial presence, that beneficial action? Well, Dr. Edward Viljoen, he's our new spiritual director for Centers for Spiritual Living. I was listening to him, and he was so clear. He goes, listen to your heart. Just listen to your heart. How simple is that? He tells us that the heart will never lead you in the wrong direction. If you're being called to be mean, negative, or do something that is in any way destructive, he goes, that's not your heart talking. He goes, your heart will never lead you astray. So listen. Listen carefully. Listen beautifully. He goes, the heart might take you to the end of the branch, might encourage you to fly, might encourage you to do new things, but it will never lead you astray, especially when it comes into relationships with other people. And yet there's still times when we become uncertain. And what is our spiritual practice that we do with that? It's prayer. We just go to prayer. I know that for me, my prayer every day is to see with the eyes of love, to speak with the tongue of love, and to allow every action I take to be steeped in love. It makes things pretty easy when you set yourself up for that. However, there's still times, done the work, done the practice, meditated, got myself all together to go out in the day, and I'll find myself in that situation of, ooh. And I have a real quick prayer that I use. All I do is I take a breath and I say, use me. Spirit, please use me. Wow. And it works like that. Because there again, I have surrendered completely into spirit, taken myself completely out of it and gone, I have this opening that I've worked on. Spirit, please use me. So my invitation to you is this, as we walk through this week, as we walk out, even through the next year. Dig back into the me. Dig back deep inside there. Find out again, remind yourself of that me, of who you are. Check out your wonderful myself, because it is. It is magnificent and wonderful. It is the expression of the divine. Of course it's wonderful. And then celebrate that you can claim, I am. You can stand sure and claim, I am. And from there, nurture your relationships. And then lastly, go to prayer. Whenever there's a challenge, just go to prayer. So I'm going to close today with something from Reverend Jane Beach. Prayer is really a simple thing. You know why? Because the beloved already knows what's in my heart. Praying takes many forms: speaking, crying, sitting in silence, singing, shouting, walking in nature. The purpose of prayer is to turn me toward love instead of the problem. Love knows what to do with it. I can get on with my life knowing it's handled. What a relief. Thank you. And so it is. Let's take this to prayer. So as we breathe into this magnificent space, the space of the I am, the space of knowing, this place that we visit so frequently, that is so familiar, and yet each time we go, we find something wonderful and new. This is a place of absolute serenity. This is a place of love. And I know for each one of us that as we visit that place, we bring it forward and allow the love that shines forth to shine forth even brighter. Knowing that the truth of who we truly are is love. So as we walk our path, I know we can say easily, when I look, I see only with the eyes of love. When I speak, I speak only with the tongue of love, and every action I take is steeped in love. Knowing that as we walk a path with this in the center of our being, that there is a grace, there is a calm, there is a balance, there's a wonderment about that experience that we call life. And we get to create it from this place of love. So I know that we have set our intentions and expressed our desires for this wonderment to be perfect in us, expressing as us, right here, right now. And I know that it is good. I know that Spirit has said, yes, my beloveds, yes. I hear you, I see you, I agree with you, and I honor you with love. And so it is.